This morning I want to talk about how to prepare a dissertation proposal. We have a lot of guides and a lot of information from the university, from the books we read and so forth, but when it comes to actually putting the proposal together, I would like to give you some context and some insights about how to actually go about the work. A proposal for a dissertation consists of the first 3 chapters. A dissertation obviously has five chapters. Chapter 1 is the introduction, Chapter 2 is the literature review, Chapter 3 is the research methods and research design, Chapter 4 is the data presentation and analysis, and Chapter 5 are the conclusions and recommendations. So in order for you to prepare a dissertation proposal, we're going to look at the first 3 chapters. And the problem that most people face is they begin by writing the dissertation proposal with Chapter 1, which might seem logical, but actually is not where it begins. That's where we start to read it, but that's not where we start to write it. The dissertation research actually begins with Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is the literature review, and this is where you review all the studies that have been done previously on this particular topic. You look at the history of the philosophical development of the topic, a theoretical foundation for previous studies of the topic, so that you have a complete understanding of all the research that's gone before and all the thinking that's been done about this topic up to this particular point in time. Your research project is intended to extend the current knowledge that we have about this topic, and so we're going to try to build a study that will produce new knowledge, new information that we don't now have in the literature. As you develop your knowledge of the topic in Chapter 2, you will determine what your research question is going to be, or what hypothesis you're going to test in the research study that you're going to design. So Chapter 2 is the foundation of the study. Chapter 3 then is the design of the study. Once you have discovered what the research questions that you want to answer or what hypotheses need to be tested, then you will construct a research design. You will determine the methods you will use, you'll determine the location. What are you going to use, an experimental method, a survey research? Are you going to interview people? Are you going to observe them in a natural setting? What kind of data are you going to collect? How are you going to collect it? What kind of tools will you use to analyze the data? Will it be numerical data? Will it be qualitative or narrative data? How will you represent the data in order to do the data analysis? After you have completed the research design and completely described the method in Chapter 3, then you can write Chapter 1. Chapter 1 is the summary chapter, introductory chapter, and it includes an introduction to the study, and it includes a summary of the information that's been developed in Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. So Chapter 1 cannot be written until we have all the information from Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. After we've written Chapter 1, then the final step is to write the abstract. And the abstract is the super summary of the study. This is a 1-page description that presents all the material that's represented in the first 3 chapters in 1 page. Very tightly written. Nothing in the abstract should appear that does not already appear somewhere else in the study. Once you have all three chapters completed and your abstract written, then you're ready to submit that to the committee, and the committee then will decide what kind of recommendations they have before you move forward. Okay? Thank you.